All morning we've been talking about President Trump tangling publicly with sports stars, especially the NFL players who refused to stand during the national anthem.
And we want to dig deeper into the history of how sports and social activism have become intertwined. So let's go to ABC's Chris Conley in Los Angeles with more for us this morning. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Paula and Dan. How are you? We've seen a surge of late in activism by athletes, but heading back to the 1960s, especially in the area of race, there's been a history of figures in sports taking the lead, raising awareness, sparking discussion, or calling for direct action.
People call it Black Power. Of course I'm black. Of course we represented power.
The 1968 Summer Olympics. This would be one of the galvanizing images of its time. U.S. medalist Tommy Smith and John Carlos on the podium.
It was a cry for freedom. Here, notice me. I'm in need. What are you in need of? Justice.
This is a tradition in the African-American community. This is a tradition across the country. We've always had athletes to use their platforms to speak out around issues of social justice.
Also in the 1960s, it was Muhammad Ali, the heavyweight champion of the world, becoming a voice for black empowerment and dissent, stripped of his title when he declared himself a conscientious objector.
You my opposing, I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
Billie Jean King would become a leader of the women's movement, advocating for equal rights and opportunity in her sport and beyond. In 1996, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf did not stand for the anthem, later opting to stand and pray silently. 20 years later, it was the 49ers' Colin Kaepernick doing so, joined by other NFLers and by soccer standout Megan Rapinoe. And in an unprecedented role for the best player in an American team sport, the NBA's LeBron James has embraced social activism in public statements, on social media, even on the court itself.
LeBron James has a sense of his social consciousness.
It's time to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what are we doing to create change?
And as a result of that, he is using his platform to speak out around issues that's impacting the community that he is a part of.
Today, all eyes will be on the NFL's players to see how they respond to yesterday's developments, and on the league's teams, none of which has offered Colin Kaepernick a contract for the 2017 season. Dan and Paula?
Yeah, this historical context is incredibly important.
Thank you, Chris. I was going to say none have offered a contract to Colin Kaepernick, even though Jay Williams brought up earlier his numbers better than some of the starters and almost all the backups out there.
Seems to be a signal there. Chris Conley, thank you again.
Thanks, Chris.
Coming up on GMA,